Welcome to there we go, the No Life Digital podcast. Hello everyone. We are here every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in. Hit up our website, nolife.digital, to get updates on the latest episodes, the latest reviews, the latest news, the latest previews, all of that good stuff over on the website. And also follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at No Life Digital. That's where we're at. Follow us everywhere. Get connected. Today we got lots to talk about. We have Call of Duty making Warzone cheaters play together. Nintendo Switch got hacked, revealing 160,000 accounts. We have the CSGO source code getting leaked from 2018. We got a new Stadia Connect that we're going to dive into. We're going to take a deep look at RIOT's employee facing their own toxic community, which is a joy to watch. We're going to talk about GameStop reopening, not giving two flying fucks, and then The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima getting release dates, as well as also getting leaked. Well, Last of Us 2 getting leaked. And in tech, we're going to talk about a little bit about NVIDIA and the new Mavic Air 2. There's not too much going on in tech. It's mostly all on the gaming side.
Dude, honestly, the biggest thing in tech right now is Linus Tech Tips finally grew a beard and looks about 80 times fucking better.
He does.
He should have had a beard from the start. He looks so good with a beard. What the fuck?
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to shave it.
News.
I wonder if he's going to shave it. I hope he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't either, dude.
He does got a nice beard going. But he's also kind of I don't know. He's not quite the guy to have the beard. You know what I mean? He looks good with it.
To an extent, I think he looks way better with it. He doesn't look like a 30-year-old man-child anymore.
Yeah.
He looks like a late 20s hipster now. And that's an upgrade from a 30-year-old man-child.
Kind of. He's kind of there. Yeah. He does look better though. And they've been cranking out videos. They are not slowing down, man. He's been cranking out videos.
Quarantined in the studio.
Yeah. They just don't leave it. Pretty interesting. You know what else? All these other podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience, all the that whole crew, they're all still doing podcasts. They're meeting with each other. They're getting guests on. Joe Rogan's doing his own testing on his own guests. He's getting his own tests somehow, and he's testing his guests and making sure they don't have corona. Of course, they are not FDA-approved tests. They are unauthorized tests, nonetheless. They're still rocking and rolling, man. There's a lot. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
A place down here is doing that because I'm currently in Georgia, where the governor decided to reopen the state. The only place in my entire city that has decided to reopen is a tattoo parlor that makes you go through an interview process, including an unapproved FDA test.
Yeah, wow.
That only one person can enter, and that is the only fucking place in the entire city that followed the governor's reopen orders.
What are the numbers like? Have you seen the numbers jump at all? They reopened last week, I think, right?
Not entirely. Most places down here, basically, once they were said that you can reopen, they're like, cool, we'll visit that in May.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll have to wait and see then. I am fascinated. That's what a couple of the Nordic countries are doing. They're just like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. If you're old, then stay home. But we're just going to have to get immune to it. Which makes sense in a smaller country. In the United States, not so sure. We had people licking groceries at one point. They think it was funny. Not funny. Have you guys been playing anything new? We just got done. We just talked about our Final Fantasy VII Remake review yesterday. That will be up later this week. Me and Doobie's review on that. But I haven't been playing anything new other than that. I'm trying to think. There might be something else. Maybe we didn't talk about.
I'm still just addicted to Bannerlord. That's about it.
Yeah, I've been ripping through Warzone. Call of Duty Warzone has been fun.
Picked up Trials of Mana remake.
You start playing that?
Yeah. It's not a terribly long game. The way that it's designed is that you're supposed to play it 3 times. There's 6 different characters you pick, but 2 of them each share a villain. So the general story doesn't really change, but there's unique things for each of them. I'm loving it. It's unlike what Final Fantasy VII was. This is a completely faithful reimagining, where it takes the 2D game of the original Trials of Mana, which never came out in the West, but the Secret of Mana series. And it took that and made it 3D, and it plays great. It's a lot of fun. The music is really well done. I'm having a blast with it, but I was also a huge fan of the original game when I played it fan translated in 2006 on an emulator.
They changed the is it still a turn-based combat game?
No, yeah.
No, well, Secret of Mana was always action-based, but it was you had to wait. You had to wait for your attacks to kind of fill up, and now it's almost kind of a little bit like how Final Fantasy VII did it. So it's action-based. You just you have your light attack and heavy attack. You can combo into them, and then you build up a meter, and then you spend that meter on class skills. So it still is very faithful to the original, but instead of 2D, it's 3D, and it works really well.
I do like how it looks.
Oh, its art style is great, and you can tell
it's a good art style, but it's also just hey, dude. So remember every Zelda game from the N64? That's our game.
Yeah, it's definitely got that. It's almost like a Dragon Quest aesthetic as well, because everything they're doing now is built in Unreal 4, so you can clearly tell it's an Unreal 4 game.
Is this a Square Enix game?
Style. Yep, this is Square Enix.
So they're just all using
the
Unreal.
original was it's a really good JRPG if that's what you're into. I like the original.
The Secret of Mana remake was garbage. This is what that Secret of Mana remake should have been. It's only a $50 title, which I think is only really worth the money if you're already kind of a fan. When it definitely eventually goes on sale, I would really recommend it to somebody who's looking for a decently short but enjoyable RPG.
Interesting.
The voice acting is also really bad.
Well,
I don't know who they got to do the English voice acting, but my favorite, if you can find it, it's the character of Duran in his intro. There's he goes to talk to the fortune teller, and the line that says there, it's meant to be spoken with a lot of emphasis. If I were to read it, it would be I must keep fighting. Don't tell me what to do, or something like that. But the voice actor reads it off, even though the character's doing these very emotion-driven expressions. He's just don't tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. I must keep on fighting. And it's it does not match at all. And then there's a character named Charlotte who, if you like your anime trope of ooh-woo, yeah.
Ooh-woo?
Ooh, yeah, they talk with a lisp, and it's real bad.
What is it, ooh-woo?
It's when a character's supposed to be really quote-unquote super cute but and childish.
Okay.
Where they'll speak like this. My mommy and daddy told me not to go somewhere. It's
I would delete that
W's in there for no reason.
Yeah.
Instead of mommy, it's MWOMMY.
Right.
And it's awful.
Is that something
it's so bad?
Is that something in Japanese culture that is popular? That sort of thing?
I think it's the idea of think cute stuff.
Or do they think
it's popular in American culture now too?
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering. Do they think Americans think that's popular?
I was talking to a friend about anime, and apparently all anime, every anime in Japan now is focusing on having cute girls. That's their hasn't
that always been the anime trope?
It's always been a trope, but apparently it's getting really bad.
Yeah, I've always noticed that weird sort of.
I mean, you had people. I think that's a thing that goes past just Japanese culture, though, because just look up any fucking review for Final Fantasy VII, and the opening is Tifa's tits are smaller.
This isn't my Tifa.
Are they
She had
smaller?
huge knockers.
Are they smaller?
I don't know, dude. They don't have fucking squares anymore.
I mean,
I know. That's what I was gonna say. How do they know this?
there's one specific cutscene I remember in the original Final Fantasy VII where jiggle physics are really unrealistic.
Yeah. Well, hey, man. All more power to these Japanese developers. This game looks pretty interesting. Watching the trailer, looks pretty interesting. I love the
fun,
Final
but-
Fantasy
and-
combat system. So, is this more of that?
Yes and no. It's much lighter. It's nowhere near as complex. And your AI is complete garbage.
Okay. Maybe I'll skip it. Then.
It's definitely tough because there's one boss fight I just did where there's traps all around the arena, and you as the player know to dodge them, but the AI kind of just stands in them, which makes it really difficult.
All right.
But I'm enjoying it.
So that's the only new.
Well, I did notice, I haven't played any of them, but it was for some reason it was just XCOM week for computer games, I guess.
Oh, right.
Because there's now a new XCOM game out for $10 that looks like, I don't know, it's not XCOM, it's XCOM Lite, it seems like, where it's just a squad-based,
Oh, it's
you have
Mario.
operators.
It's
You know
Mario and
what I mean?
Rabbids.
Kind of almost like you have 11 set operators instead of choosing a team who's going to go die and shit like that.
Oh, that's not XCOM then. Yeah.
But the gameplay is XCOM. But on top of that, there wasn't just XCOM. There was also Troubleshooter Abandoned Child that came out, or Abandoned Children, which looks like JRPG, but it's the exact same XCOM formula of combat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's multiple XCOM-esque games that came out if you're into that kind of turn-based tactics game.
And it is out on Switch now, right? I think that was a release that happened. XCOM 2 at least. Let me double
I
check.
think so.
Yeah, I think it's on Switch. Which is awesome. Yes, it is. It did come out on Switch, so you can get it on Switch. Yeah, there was a lot of XCOM news. I don't like this operator thing. I want to see how they do it. I know nothing about it other than that it's new. But I mean, to me, XCOM is getting that loot. You know what I mean? Getting your dudes all set up with the right shit. That's the fun part about it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then the Troubleshooter is... The combat looks to be very much in that XCOM vein, but much more of a story-driven JRPG experience almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still that same SRPG XCOM game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it here. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. It does look very faithful to the XCOM formula, which is good. I love XCOM, dude. I fucking love it. Love it. I might have to check these out. Totally forgot that these were games that got released.
Just notice that, it's XCOM and fake XCOM week on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might pick up the Chimera Squad and check that one out. I'll let you guys know how that one goes.
Chimera Squad on PC's on sale for $10. If you like that style of game, it's normally $20. And then the Troubleshooter's $20 instead of $25.
Yeah.
So and both, I will say, Troubleshooter's got a 92% review so far of user reviews, and XCOM has a 72%.
Oh, maybe I'll check.
So apparently, people are really liking them.
Yeah,
I will say I forgot that I hadn't touched my Switch in a while, and I picked it up the other night and started updating all of my older games, just seeing what games I had downloaded and needed updates. And I totally forgot I have Shovel Knight Treasure Trove on there, so I started playing the King's Knight campaign.
I don't like it.
His movement's real weird. He's too slippery.
I just don't like it.
The card game is meh.
I like the card game. I think the card game is kind of interesting. It's not my favorite.
His
part.
levels are also super short.
Yeah.
There's a lot of levels, but they're all short.
Yeah.
There's only like one checkpoint in each one. And I'm like expecting like where Spectre Knight or Plague Knight or Shovel Knight all had like really long levels that had like 4 checkpoints.
Have you gone through it already?
I just beat the first like judge. So there's, I'm on to the second part of the map.
Yeah, it starts to open up a little bit, and it does get a little bit more difficult, and they do bring some new things in it. But it's not my favorite one.
Sorry to interrupt. For the third tactics game that released this week,
Mario Rabbids 3.
No, Gears Tactics.
Oh,
that's right.
Gears
if you wanted Gears of War XCOM with a 66% review.
Ooh. Now, I wonder if that's because it's Gears. You know what I mean?
And it's also $60. You can buy every game of XCOM and the other one with a 92% review for the same price.
So Halo did RTS, and Gears went for the XCOM.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think Gears fits XCOM style anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You're basically playing like real-time XCOM with Gears. Maybe I'll check this one out too. It is $60, so that's probably leads into that score as well.
That's not on Games Pass?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, if it's on Games Pass, then yeah, definitely check it out.
That's a good question.
I feel like it would be being a Gears game.
Dude, Games Pass has been phenomenal, by the way. It's been phenomenal. It is on Games Pass. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
There you go.
Yeah, boy. I fucking love Game Pass, man.
Yeah, just do it that way then, because
Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do it that way.
I'm seeing a lot of the reviews saying it's good. It's like Final Fantasy Tactics or stuff like that, and they like it. And I'm not finding a lot of most of the bad reviews are like definitely maybe worth $30.
Right, yeah.
It's the price that people are having a problem with.
Yeah, that is
It's that, and then the people who do pay $60 are like, this game is all around mediocre at best. And a lot of the really good reviews for it are, this product was received for free.
Yeah. Well, see, if I feel like Games Pass is tricky,
and then
because if you play it on Games Pass, I wonder if that comes into your scoring. You know what I mean? Because you're not technically paying $60 to play it. It's already just
that too, probably. A lot of the negative reviews I'm also seeing are related to the implementation of it using Xbox Live, which is still terrible.
With everything with everything being hacked and the two-factor authentication, which we'll get into, is with the Switch. Microsoft has 2FA, but to do it with Xbox, it's real bad.
Really?
I don't even can. Apparently, when you sign in with Xbox Live, there's really nowhere to input the a password.
What?
I don't know. I don't use Xbox Live, even though I think theoretically I'm signed into Xbox Live when I play Halo PC, but like the Masters Collection on PC. But I barely even
See, I use the Xbox. I haven't played on my Xbox 360 in a long time, or Xbox One X. Sorry. I've been playing it on PC on the Xbox app, and I found that app to work pretty nicely. Like it's very bare bones. It's kind of like the Epic Store. But I haven't had any troubles with it, and all the notifications for like all the messages and stuff work well. But I haven't done it through Xbox, so I wonder if there's a difference there. They probably don't even care. They're gearing up for a new system console. So.
Well, also what I'm saying though is, since it's a Microsoft game, even if you buy the key on Steam, I'm talking about Xbox Live, that you have to still use on the computer to be able to play this stupid game.
Oh, I see. So if you
then people are having a lot of issues with that, of trying to log into their Xbox Live account. That the biggest thing also sounds like that people are logging into their Microsoft Xbox Live account, but then it's saying it's a different email and then just not giving them the game, even though they paid $60 for it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a lot of weirdness going on between
I can see that being a
Steam
problem.
and Xbox Live as well.
Yeah, I hate that, because there's some Ubisoft games that I have, and you have to open up the fucking Ubisoft launcher, and the way they do updates is weird, and the way that if you uninstall a game and reinstall it, then you have to. It just becomes a fucking mess.
You don't love Uplay?
Oh, absolutely! I fucking love it, dude. I love stabbing my eyes with hot, shish kebab sticks. That's what using Uplay is like.
A lot of the bad reviews are also about Windows 10 only. Which, sorry, it's fucking 2020.
And people
yeah,
still
it's
using
probably Windows 10 only.
Are people still using Windows 7?
I can't play my game on Linux.
Hey, that's a valid argument in my opinion. But if your argument is I can't play it on Windows XP,
I can't play on Windows
XP. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the difference. I don't know why someone would continue using Windows 7. I guess security, is that one of the reasons?
I don't fucking know, dude. Honestly,
some people just don't. Some people get in their head.
Some people don't like change.
They just don't like Windows 10. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Windows 10 is not perfect.
It's not, but it's way better than any other Windows.
When it updates, it breaks stuff. Like I actually had to break my microphone settings to the point where like everything was working, but I wasn't catching any audio. Had to troubleshoot it, and when I did the troubleshooter, it went audio format is not set to default.
Yeah, well, that happened.
How did that break?
Well, sometimes when you update, it'll update, but you still have to continue updating. Like there'll still be cumulative updates that you missed. So sometimes I tell someone like, "Oh, just update your computer." That seems to fix the problem because they're
No, I mean like every time I update, there's always I got to check my audio settings because it breaks them. It resets things. It sets things back, or straight up takes my audio format from my microphone, my XLR mic, and just turns it off.
Yeah, don't even use the Windows audio settings. They're the worst.
Here's my favorite review so far. Not optimized. Works like there's a crypto miner behind using everything and leaving game like shit.
Okay. This guy
so it's Cooking Mama.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm fascinated in it. So I'll let you guys know. I'll let y'all know how it.
So yeah, sorry, I forgot about that one too. But then I was looking through the rest of the things and was like, oh yeah, here's another tactics game that came out this week. Well, this one came out today.
Yeah.
When's the Final Fantasy XCOM Tactics?
Yeah. Hey man.
For real, bring that back. Yeah.
I'd be interested in that.
But yeah, there's shitload of tactics games basically, like surprising amount.
All right, let's get into news. I feel like there was a new game that I've been playing that I wanted to talk about. Let me double check, but before we do, we'll get into news. Where's my Steam? All right, so Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, which I've been playing a lot of. It's been damn fun. So the way that they're going to implement their anti-cheating things is they're going to, I have the tweet up here, but they posted this. Starting this week, players in Warzone and Modern Warfare who report suspected cheaters will receive confirmation in-game when a player is banned, which I think is always good because you never know, like at least in PUBG, you don't know if there's blatant cheating going on, someone flying through the level, you report them, you never know if they're going to ban them. 9 times out of 10 they don't.
I do like that because you can get that in CS, but that's with the Overwatch style bans, not just ban.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll at least just like you'll randomly log on and your account like at the top of your screen will just be like someone you convicted recently has been banned.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that because then you're like, all right, at least they are looking at this shit. I'm not doing it for no reason. Additional measures, deployed additional dedicated security updates, updated matchmaking to match suspected cheaters together, increased resources across backend tech studio enforcement teams coming soon, report a player functionality to kill cam and spectate modes. So right now there's no, if you kill cam someone and you see them cheating, you can't report them. You have to kind of do it in a manual system. But now they're going to add that in there. But the cool thing is that they're going to start matchmaking suspected cheaters. I think it would be funny if they did that. If they told you, hey, we banned this person, but they don't tell the person they banned, they kind of shadow ban them and just funnel them into these matchmaking things anyway. Because that is such a great way to limit cheaters because they're going to cheat anyway, right? If you tell them, hey, you're banned, they're just going to reopen another account.
Exactly.
Anyway.
It's a better system than them just reopening a new account and going back to it.
This, they have no fucking idea if they're playing with real people or not. And I think it's a pretty smart implementation of that. So hopefully that works. I haven't really noticed much cheating in Warzone, but supposedly it's pretty rampant.
I remember the video, maybe it was like a week or two ago, where it was one of the streamers, I think one of the big streamers, like sent it out, and it was this guy just like no scoping people from across the map, headshots, and he was just like spectating. He's just like, how is this not banned?
Yeah. There was a story maybe a month or so ago of this kid who got accepted into FaZe, and they caught him cheating, and there was this whole exposed thing where they made him like show his videos where they thought he was cheating. And I mean, nowadays it's almost like you can play to an extent, and then when you want to cheat, you just add the cheat when you need it. So usually like you're playing, but then you can throw the cheat on when you want to shoot someone to like quickly kill them.
I remember when Apex had a big problem with cheating, and there was you would get rid of particle effects. So when Bangalore would throw smoke, you would have it tabbed to a button that you would press, and it would just wipe the particle effect away. So they see the smoke, but you don't. So they're just sitting there not knowing what's going on, and you just have a clear shot.
Right.
And people do it, and you would just have it set up so that when you hit this button, it would run that quick script, clear it, and then turn off. So that people would try to, like, if you were spectating, unless you caught them actually using it, it didn't look like they were cheating.
Well, this is definitely a great implementation to kind of thwart some of that. It's got to be a shadow ban, though. You know, they got to do it secretly. I think that's the only way that will really work. All right, moving on. Nintendo reveals 160,000 accounts have been breached, compromised, hacked. Nintendo revealed on Friday 160,000 accounts were breached since the beginning of April by hackers using other Nintendo network IDs without permission. The company announced users will no longer need to use these IDs to log into their accounts, and that passwords on the accounts may have been breached will have been reset. Over the past month, users on social media were complaining of missing funds for their Nintendo accounts, and in some cases seeing the money being used to buy Fortnite V-Bucks. A
buddy of mine actually had $200 spent from somebody over in, I guess, the Middle East on V-Bucks on his account.
Damn, that's a lot of fucking skins, man. Now, are they trading these V-Bucks in for real cash? Is that how this ad's working?
Yeah.
Let me look that up real quick. That's got to be a thing, right?
I wonder if it's got to be something. It's like almost like the Google Play card scams. Like, they're doing something with the Google Play cards that they do actually get to actually turn it into money.
Yeah. Because why else would they be? I mean, I can't imagine they're going to put their accounts on the line and you know, possibly even a lawsuit just to get some Fortnite skins. It doesn't make much sense. It's probably for cash. Here's an article by Digital Trends. Fortnite V-Bucks being used by criminals for money laundering on dark web.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. All right, they'll fucking use anything for cash these days, huh? We sincerely apologize to our customers and related parties for any inconvenience and concern. In the future, we'll make sure efforts to strengthen security and ensure safety so that similar events do not occur, said Nintendo in an announcement originally written in Japanese. Do you guys have your two-factor authentication on your Nintendo IDs?
I do.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I have that shit for everything, man.
Yeah, exactly. If you like put it on everything.
Yeah. It's so annoying, but it's so worth it. Get that. Get the password account thing that where they can just generate random passwords all the time, and it's
The
good.
Authenticator or Google.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Fuck Authy. I hate Authy though.
I just got
will
rid
say
of
that.
I just got rid of
Authy's like it's.
I mean,
fine.
I have to use it. It's just
Authy
Authy is a shit app. That's my problem with Authy.
I use Microsoft's Authenticator now. That's what I just moved to.
Well, I just mean like I still have to use Authy for some things because
I think Twitch only does Authy.
Yeah, like there's multiple game companies that basically only use Authy, and it's like, dude, this is such a trash app.
Yeah. It's better than Google Authenticator, I will say that. Google Authenticator.
See,
is bad.
I disagree.
You like that super simple, just list?
Well, okay, no, I guess so, yeah. But like, I have noticed, and this is the one thing where, since I go back every 2 years between Android and iPhone, Google Authenticator on iPhone kind of sucks a lot more. But if you have like a Pixel, Google Authenticator is just bae. Like it's such a better like experience than it is on iPhone.
It's extremely easy to use on my my Samsung.
Yeah.
Like on Android, it is actually they got to give them props. They actually did a really good job with how effective and useful it is.
Yeah, it sucks on iOS. It's just a list, and you have to find your At least it shoots over to my
that, or it'll send you that or it'll send you to the fucking Gmail app and make you open it in the Gmail app.
Oh, great. That's fun.
Well, yeah, that's what it does half of the time for me on iOS. It'll just open my Gmail and then just be like, "Is this you?" Yeah,
that's annoying. I just use the Microsoft Authenticator, and it's kind of similar to Google's, but they do have like an Apple Watch kickover thing, which is nice sometimes. All right, games for PS5 to be announced in official PlayStation Magazine July issue, due for release in June.
I was gonna also throw out there, if you need a password manager, there is free options like LastPass. Use them. If you're too worried like me about LastPass getting hacked, Bitwarden.
Actually,
you can Bitwarden for free. You set up a vault on an extra computer or your own computer. There you go.
This is probably more tech news worthy, but I'd give a share an anecdote. New spam that's going around. And this is because one of my really old passwords, probably from like 8 years ago, it got exposed. It happens. My email probably got exposed that ties that password. And they don't know where it's to. They don't know what website that I use that combo on, that I did use that combo on at any time. But they send you this email that has your password in the file, like in the title. And they're essentially trying to get you to pay Bitcoin because they quote unquote hacked your webcam and recorded you watching adult videos.
Damn, what if they actually do, Doobie? You're watching those.
You see my webcam?
You're watching those.
Everyone
Tifa
in the
videos.
world wants to see my O face. I have no shame.
They're watching them Tifa videos, dude. They got you on camera.
Yeah, but it's like, within 24 hours, send $200 into Bitcoin at this address, and
yeah, dude. What do you think my friends used to do when we were 18?
What I'm saying though is like this scam is like, it's been around for a while. It's called sextortion scams.
Yeah, they did a whole Black Mirror episode on it. It's awesome.
Yeah, but the last month or two, it's actually like gone exponentially.
I know. I've been getting a lot more spam. Recently.
And I think it's because a lot of people are buying up a ton of webcams because they have to work from home or telecommunications for social distancing.
Every other week, Zoom gets hacked and everyone's emails out there.
Yeah. So you're seeing these rise of these sextortion scams. I saw that email. I opened it up. I was like took a quick double take and then read it and then started laughing my ass off.
Yeah. If you see that stuff, don't even open them because it pings back to them. They know that you opened it. So they're going to keep sending them to you. But definitely whatever you do not ever log in from an email link. Never do that ever. If it says, hey, log in from this link and then it dings you to the login, close that link, reopen it in a new page, and then type in the address and log in from there, because you will get your shit yanked. All right, so what's this? The PS5 games in its July issue. PS5 games for when? Do we know when? For this year coming up? For next year?
Guessing launch titles. We still don't know launch titles.
True. This lines up with Microsoft Phil Spencer saying that next-gen games would start getting revealed soon and paves the way for the big marketing push, because we are coming to E3 time.
Launch-ish titles like ARMS.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know if this is like if the official PlayStation magazine has exclusive on these reveals, or if they're just covering things that are also going to be announced.
Would hope it's the official magazine.
That's the funny
from
part.
Sony.
It's called the official PlayStation magazine, but it's actually part of the Future Network, a media organization that also owns Games Radar.
Yeah, so they're not official. They just call it the official one.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
fair.
that great?
Future usually does a decent job though, but I will say, like, yes, they probably honestly actually do already know what's going to happen, because that's just the way traditional print media works. You have to know a month in advance, because you're like. Their July issue
behind by the time you print.
Exactly. The July issue, they're trying to write that now.
We should
what I mean? So they already have to know.
The official Sony PlayStation podcast. That's what we should call this show.
You know what magazine was official? Nintendo Power.
True.
I legitimately miss Nintendo Power.
I mean, do they not have it at all anymore? It's not even online?
Oh, it's been gone for
It's been gone forever. Yeah.
Actually, Nintendo Power is now a podcast done by Nintendo.
Well, maybe we should be the official Nintendo Power podcast. Because obviously,
there is one.
But we can be called the official Nintendo Power podcast.
Oh, we can be called the official Nintendo Power podcast.
There's no law against calling yourself the official.
Now you're podcasting with power.
We'll call it the official authority on Nintendo Power. That'll be the name of our podcast. All right, so we have no idea what they're going to be talking about. We just
but we know the best launch title that's going to come out already, and that's the only one I care about. So,
was that?
So let's be honest, Cyberpunk at this point is a launch title for the PS5 with the amount it's being delayed by.
Yeah, I know. Imagine releasing a game the day before a new gen gets released. What are you thinking?
Dude, I wouldn't give a shit because I would be like, hey, I'm not buying that new gen yet, because I never buy a new gen when it first comes out because the launch titles always suck.
Yeah. Except, what was Switch's launch titles? Those were pretty solid.
Breath of the Wild, but we had a Wii U that ran it better, so.
Kind of did, yeah.
Yeah, I never had a Wii U, though.
I didn't either, but my girlfriend's family did, so we had
I regrettably did. I mean, it had okay. Guess what?
Did you really regret it though? Did you really regret it?
The fact that all of the games that were essentially exclusive on the Switch are now also exclusive on the Wii U are now on the Switch destroys the argument that the Wii U had good games. Yeah, and the Switch has those games now.
Oh, there you go.
No, and it does. Like nowadays, it's totally worth it. That's why I always wait for consoles.
And you too can pay full price for the same game that came out in 2014.
No, I won't because I already have it. Because if we have a Wii U, we have every Wii U game also.
Yeah, right. There was not a large library.
I don't even know of any other. What was there? Wii U Golf, Wii U Bowling,
Mario Kart 8,
Mario Kart 8, Splatoon 1. You had
Splatoon 1 was a
Smash. You had a Smash game that was probably I think the best selling game of that.
And I'm throwing this out there. Pokken was better than Smash on the Wii U.
Oh, those are big words.
Hard. It's not a hard argument to make. Actually, Pokken Fighter was.
It was good, dude.
It still has a pretty solid fan base that want like. Not because they brought the DX version to Switch. They legitimately want a second game, like a
no. I kind of do too, because the Wii U version of that game was genuinely good. It was, and the Wii U version of Smash was mediocre.
Better than Brawl, but Ultimate destroyed Smash 4 easily.
Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, this isn't a Smash Ultimate argument. This is
any game that had two stock.
Wii U.
Two stock was the meta. I hated it. I hated two stock. But you couldn't run three stock because games would go 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I do want a new Pokken just because it genuinely, like for the Smash style fighting game, it was genuinely really good.
All right. Pokken on Switch coming up. Guerrilla is planning a Horizon Zero Dawn trilogy. Plans for next gen sequel indicate gigantic scope in co-op mode.
That's awesome, and I will buy it in 2 years.
Yes. No way, I'm buying that launch day, baby. Horizon is one of the best.
I really like launch.
I'll probably buy it launch day. I'm just saying I'm probably not going to buy a PS5 until this game comes out.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of my point with consoles, where it's like, no, I'm probably not gonna buy a PS5 for another year at best, just because I'm gonna wait till NHL 2022 and Horizon Zero Dawn comes out. Before then, I don't fucking care.
I had an absolute blast with HCD. You guys always
it's a great game.
Fun for me, like for not playing Witcher, but if you were to hand me Witcher and Horizon Zero Dawn and tell me to pick one to play from the beginning, I'm picking up Horizon Zero Dawn again. I really like that game.
Yeah, it was a good game. You're wrong, but it was still a fantastic game.
It's fine.
100% wrong, but it definitely is an amazing game. I would say
I do want more because
I loved it.
The thing I'll give Horizon Zero Dawn a lot of credit for is it's a really great. It's not as much. It's more of an action game to me than an RPG. It's not like in The Witcher 3 is still an RPG of like get better gear, get better things that actually matter, while Horizon Zero Dawn is like,
still has that
this item is technically, statistically better, but to your gameplay it actually makes zero fucking difference.
Yeah. No, it's definitely
it's fantastic, and the story was great.
It's just an action game and a really fun open world.
Yeah, and the combat was fluid. They did a really good job with it.
And those giant robots, the giant robots, the bigger they get, the more fun and nerve-wracking they are to fight.
Now, see, my argument for Witcher 3 being the greatest game ever made, maybe the greatest piece of art ever created by anyone, is that the world is so fucking gigantic. That's why when I see these words, gigantic scope, I'm very happy, because I would love a massive world with Horizon Zero Dawn, with so many intricate side quests and funny little things to find, and hidden armor in fucking weird places that give you all these crazy things. That's what makes Witcher 3 so enticing to me. It's like every time you pick it up, there's something new to do.
It's that and The Witcher, and why I'm excited for Cyberpunk. Witcher 3 is still the only game ever, period, that has actually made it believable that this is a city.
Yeah.
Like, when you go to their cities, when you go to their village, there are more people in the village than there are in most games' cities.
Yeah, and you can run right up to them. There's no, I mean, you can fast travel, but you just run through, and then you start seeing like little towns. You're like, all right, I think I'm getting closer to the city. And then you see massive Skellige ships and Skellige cities, towers. You can go in through them and find different quests. And there's just, we haven't gotten that type of game scope since. So I would love to see a Horizon Zero Dawn in that.
But then when you go to Novigrad, there is fucking 1,000 people in Novigrad. It isn't, here's 30 people and it's a city. Yeah. Like, no, there's a fucking 1,000 people walking around.
Then you can go to the beach and then dive underwater, and there's 1,000 fucking enemies underwater. You know, there's like living shit underwater, and there's quests under there somewhere. There's caves it's insane how massive that game is. So I see gigantic scope on Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm a very happy man.
It's really interesting. You look at Guerrilla Games, like Horizon Zero Dawn was their first new title, new IP, since 2004 when they introduced Killzone, and then they made only Killzone games until 2013 when they released Killzone Shadowfall. Which Killzone started off as a good franchise.
I was going to say, Killzone is also an underrated franchise because those games were pretty good for PS2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Killzone was one of the games that, they lied about when they did the PS3. Like, they showed off fake footage. There really wasn't in-game footage. It was all pre-rendered, but they sold it off as in-game.
Well, they were like, this is what you could do.
Yeah, and people were like, oh, this is going to be the game. And then you got the game, and it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Because they
got their respect back on their name with Horizon.
Oh yeah, and Horizon, it's one of those things where, like, when you look at Sony versus Microsoft, and you have to have good IPs and good new IPs. You have to have some kind of new IP coming, unless apparently you're Nintendo, in which case you can kind of get by introducing Splatoon, and then really that's it. But you just have so many other IPs. Microsoft doesn't have, or has not had the ability to produce those IPs like Sony has with...
What are you talking about, dude? They did Sea of Thieves.
They did Gears Tactics.
Fucking Sea of Thieves. Man, I feel so bad for Rare. God, I miss old Rare.
Yeah, that game, what a fucking flop. There's people that do love that game, though.
No, that game has a
dedicated fan base.
And I guess that's my point, is like, they're not bad games, but it's one of those things where it's like,
they're not system sellers.
Here's a B or here's an A++. What you gonna choose?
Yeah,
they're not system sellers. I can make the argument that Horizon Zero Dawn is a series that would get people to buy a system.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Nobody's buying an Xbox for Sea of Thieves.
But that's why those are interesting. It's interesting now because if you're a business and you're Guerrilla Games, Sony's got to give you a lot of money to stay exclusive. You know what I mean?
Well, they're going to PC.
Oh yeah, that's right. They are going to PC, which is. I mean, you might as well just be on Xbox at that point, because Xbox is basically half PC now. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, we're seeing a little bit less of these super exclusive titles. I mean, we're maybe these more timed exclusive things, but.
I mean, that's what the future kind of is timed exclusive. Like Final Fantasy 7 Remake timed exclusive. I can count it back to when I think, was it Destiny that was the DLC, I think, was timed exclusive, or the game was timed exclusive for a bit.
Well, is that what people
On
are guessing this will be? Because from what I'm reading here, this is a PlayStation and Guerrilla Games announcement, so it is still going to be at least timed exclusive.
Yeah, it's going to be at least timed exclusive. How long? I mean, it did take Horizon Zero Dawn how long to now come to PC? It took a couple years. So maybe it won't have that 1 year, but maybe it'll be 3 year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to see. I'm excited. It's a trilogy, too, so we know we're going to get two at least.
At this point, we're going to have a PS5 before Horizon Zero Dawn, a year one game, comes out on PC. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when does the PC version set to release? The first one.
I'm not sure. I'm just excited to see what the modding is going to look like for it.
Sure, but I'm more excited, honestly, for if they're making a trilogy part 2 and they actually now have an unlimited budget, basically.
Yeah, they definitely do. I would give them all your resources, Sony, and Sony's got a lot of them. They make a lot of money.
The Steam page for Horizon Zero Dawn just says summer 2020.
Oh, so soon.
But I mean, like, if you can give me Horizon Zero Dawn with that scope of Witcher 3, yeah, I'd be pretty excited.
Oh, hell fucking yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
Because, like, that, to go back to my analogy earlier, the opening village that you walk into in The Witcher 3 has more people in it than the biggest city of Horizon Zero Dawn.
And the biggest city in all of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And no texture pop-in issues. You know what I mean? You know, it's insane what they were able to do with that game. But I could talk about Witcher 3 until the fucking sun goes down. So let's move on. I don't know what this is. Persona 5 Scramble localization in the planning stages. What does this mean?
So remember that Persona 5 Dynasty Warrior style game that came out in Japan?
Yes.
It's a sequel to Persona 5. Like, for all intents and purposes, it's story-wise is a sequel. A lot of fans are not sure if it was going to come west, which I always argued made no sense. The series is as popular as it's ever been in the West. So we just finally got confirmation in Koei Tecmo's fiscal report that the localization for Persona 5 Scramble to come west on Switch and PS4 is happening. It's in the planning stages, so it's not being done yet, but they are actively working on bringing it over. So it's probably going to be a while till we see it, but at least it's a confirmation that it's coming.
It's going to be a while?
Those localizations they're not like turn around 6 months. It took Persona 5 over a year to come. It came out in Japan and it took over a year to come out in the West because of just how much dialogue and how much localization has to be done.
Interesting. You figure it wouldn't take that long.
You figure, but those games have a lot of text that you have to translate, and not only make it a decent translation, but you have to record all the voice lines in English.
It sounds like not even worth it for a Dynasty Warriors title that's going to come out at the end of a gen console.
It'll come out on Switch, though. That's the thing. And it will sell on the Switch, I guarantee you. You've heard so many people say they want Persona 5 on the Switch. Here's your chance.
It's not going to be Persona 5, though. It's going to be
Dynasty Warrior game's still fun, though.
Yeah, and everything I've heard of.
I haven't played one in a long time.
Unlike like Fire Emblem Warriors or even like Legend of Zelda, the Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors. Honestly, they were fun.
Which was good. This game is actually a lot. It takes a lot of the Persona elements of the, finding the weaknesses, things like that. For everything I've heard of, it's really good.
Why not just give us Persona 5 on the Switch?
I mean, that would be the ultimate, obviously, but I will say I'm fine. Personally, yeah, take as much time as you want for translation issues, because I already saw how that played out in Kingdom Hearts 3.
There's been, for example, you want a history of bad translation, you can look throughout the history of games and some of the worst translations.
Oh, I know.
Some of the worst voice acting. I'm looking at you, Trials of Mana.
Yeah. PS5 Heatsink patent may show one part of Sony's unique PlayStation 5's cooling system. Doobie writes, people craving PS5 info so much they are breaking down Heatsink patents.
Dude, this isn't even about craving PS5 like info. This is just being a hardware nerd. It's okay.
All right.
Because like Gamers Nexus, they're going to completely rip apart the PlayStation 5 and just be like, oh, this is this millimeter. Like they're just gonna take, yeah. This is just being fun.
And then they're gonna put it on a graph with like all the other heat sinks and be like, this is where it fits in this graph.
Day one system teardowns.
Got their calipers out. Dude, that's what they do every fucking system.
It is pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
They did it. They literally even did it with the goddamn Stadia controller.
Oh my God.
Which was actually one of the most hardest things for them to actually open without like completely breaking it.
Just looking at the patent, I don't see any sort of like groundbreaking technologies.
It looks like a very basic heatsink.
It looks like literally just a heatsink on a die.
And like I said, people are thirsty for info.
Heatsink 21 is disposed on a lower surface of the circuit board. The circuit board has holes.
At least have some heat pipes, it looks like. Mm-hmm. But like the main thing is like,
okay, so you got some heat provided through the holes. Yeah, these are just holes.
The holes are over the die. The heat sinks go out away from the die.
Looks like a good heat sink to me, Sony. Good job. You made a heat sink.
I wouldn't say good job yet, but I mean, we'll have to wait to see it. But like, this looks like a very basic, normal heat sink.
Yeah.
The issue I have with that is this looks like a very basic budget heat sink that you would have on an Intel Celeron CPU from 10 years ago.
Hey, at least they did the bare minimum on the heat sink.
Yeah.
There you go on that one. Where's the fan go?
All you need is a circle fan on top of the fin stack, and there you go.
Where's the fan? I need the fan patent next. Kingdom Hearts 3 modder tackles FF7 modding. Remake save. Oh, we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? Where you could play as Red 13. How is he doing that? Yep, Red 17 is playable.
It's a save file editor. It's a save editing. It's how they did it. That's how they got into the modding, was to.
But I don't understand how do his moves translate? Are they adding moves in there?
They don't. So I think his basic is you can only essentially just attack with him. He doesn't have magic. He doesn't have equipment. You're just literally attacking with him. But you see his attack animations.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have like a triangle button, like a Punisher or anything like that.
So it's just if you want to do it, I guess.
It's neat. It's a neat thing, and there's other things they found by kind of modding with it. And right now, the editor that they're using is extremely unstable.
Mm-hmm.
So it can crash at any time when they're doing this. But there's some interesting stuff that they've found.
Just
you can change.
Just wait till it comes to PC.
Yeah, but I mean, he has a materia equipped, and if you play the game, you see his like equipment. You can actually see the materia he has. I think he has like 2 green materia and 1 yellow.
Okay. If I recall. Cool, I guess.
Which is kind of that's a throwback nod to his original materia. I think that he has when you get him, which is sense, fire, and I think thunder.
So do you think they made it that way? So if you hacked it, then they would show you that materia and say, "Oh, look, that's like the original."
Maybe, but no, you can actually see it on his like actual character model.
Oh, that's what you're saying. I thought you meant you could see it when you hack it.
he's got the the combs and stuff in his hair.
I didn't even notice that.
It's a neat Easter egg.
Scar.
This is a reverse heatsink. Going back to that heatsink, that board in the middle is actually the circuit board, so it actually channels through the circuit board.
Yeah, the holes.
The heatsink that's on the bottom.
Yeah, the holes. There's holes through the circuit board, I guess, that disperse through the heatsink from the circuit board, and that's where the die is.
That looks more promising to me then. Honestly.
And the die is on top of that area there with those heat pipes that are between the circuit board and the die.
Yeah, so that could be more promising, honestly. Okay, I take back. It's not just an Intel Celeron from 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it's an Intel Celeron from about 9 years ago.
All right, so we got a Stadia Connect. Let's talk about Stadia. I forgot to tell you guys, and I was waiting to bring this up now, but should we try it out? Stadia. I did play Stadia. I was playing Destiny. And,
yeah, should I play it with you? Because I apparently have 2 months of Pro for free.
Yeah, that's why I did
Google.
it. I did this when it first came out. When I first heard about Stadia doing this program, I was like, let me check it out. I played on PC on a wired connection, and I didn't notice any difference in gameplay other than graphics. Graphics are terrible. I mean, the graphics are really, really bad looking. I remember playing through NVIDIA's GeForce Now when it was first unveiled in beta mode. I guess it still is in beta mode, but when it was like first announced, and I played through that PUBG, that looked remarkably better than this does. But there was a lot more input lag on that version than this. This one doesn't feel like there's much input lag, which is pretty cool. It just doesn't look as good, and they are limiting you to, I guess, a lower 1080p bit rate because it's a free mode. But in terms of like actually playing it, it's not bad. I was quite surprised. And I'm playing online with the Destiny, which is pretty interesting. But I really don't have much else to say about it. There's no games unless you want to play, Steam World Dig, or you want to play some other indie titles you never heard of. All the other titles you have to pay to play them. You have to buy them.
Maybe tomorrow. Let's do that. We'll try the 2 months of free Stadia and play free PUBG off of a Stadia.
Yeah, I am curious to see how the new PUBG Pioneer mode is. Here's the conference. To me, this was like, what is even... They didn't really announce anything other than Doom Eternal, which you have to buy, I believe. You can't just play it. So you have to sign up for Stadia, which you do get 2 free months, but then you have to buy the games on top of it. I think that's the biggest downside to this, is the fact that you have to purchase these games while also paying that fee. Oh yeah, and Star Wars Jedi Knight is coming out, and Madden. See, this is what I think. I think sports games on Stadia would actually be pretty interesting. And if they can work with EA in some way to get it where you don't even have to pay for these games, you just pay the Stadia fee, that could be pretty cool. That would be an interesting way to play.
I could play
Madden.
NHL 20 on my phone, dude.
That's what I'm saying. And anywhere, and you could play with anyone. Maybe offer up some sort of like cross-platform play with it. Then it makes it a little bit. Then you have some, you have some leverage there. But the way it is now, it's just like, oh, I just go play it on, a real console with none of the issues that come with Stadia. Fully fledged, social systems I could play with my friends. And right now, it still does feel like a really weird beta period that they're in, but it's not bad. And I will say that it is not bad. It was surprisingly good. Just know that the graphics are a lot worse, but that might be different if you have a pro account. They might allow you to have a higher bit rate. And if you have good internet, you might be able to squeak out some better image quality. I didn't get to try out the 4K, obviously, but I was surprised. I was like, wow, this actually feels good. And I played for like 3 hours of Destiny, which was shocking. I played the opening parts of Destiny many times, but I was like, wow, this is not too bad. So there's that on Destiny, or on Stadia. This is interesting. The source code from CSGO and Team Fortress 2 dated 2017-2018 was made available to Source Engine licensees, was leaked to the public. They said that there's really no reason to be alarmed, but I don't know. I would imagine you can't do much with the source code that old now, right? There's probably not too much you can do, but who knows, man? It's pretty. You might be able to find some things. You never know with these hackers. They might be able to get in there and really figure out how to change some things up. But it is out there.
So all of this has been available in actual hacking circles since 2017 when it was current.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now it's made public. So
yeah, if you're worried about hacks in games,
it would have happened already.
People have had access to this since it came out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is interesting.
I know there's a lot of people the day that came out that were really massively over freaking, because the thing that it is a little bit more important for is TF2, because Valve hasn't touched TF2 in God knows when.
Right.
And there were a lot of people thinking, oh, they were somehow able to get like RSEs so they could take over your computer if you log into TF2. No, it was a bunch of people scaremongering. No, they didn't. You would have to hack the server side to be able to do that. No, just looking at the source code doesn't make it so like, oh shit, now I know the entire server database because this is literally just the client.
Yeah, it's just client source code.
Are there things people could gain and glean from this? Yes.
But it would have happened.
This is also from 2017, pre-panoramic UI, a lot of fucking updates that changed a lot of the code.
Yeah.
So all of these games at this point, especially CS, are much closer to Source 2E-ish bullshit than OG. This is just the Source engine code. Mm-hmm. So if you want to hack Half-Life, here you go.
Yeah. Just go play Gary's mod.
So yeah, it is important, and it should, Valve should step on it. But like the amount of panic and over the topness I saw the day this happened was kind of funny.
Yeah, they basically said, "Hey, there's nothing really there's nothing really to worry about here." You never know, though. I am curious to know what they could do about it. Just shoot out an update that changes something where it makes that source code basically inept to any sort of changes. I'm not exactly sure how that would work.
I mean, most of it already is. It's the source code from 2017 and it's 2020. They've massively changed the game since then.
Yeah. All right, so this is interesting. Riot says it will curb Valorant toxicity after own employee posts video of sexist harassment. So I'm going to play a video. You guys can hear it. This woman, where is this at? She goes by Evergreenly, and she's playing Valorant. She works at Riot as a UX designer, and she has this interaction. So just listen in.
You see how I'm top-ragging? Like, do you find that attractive at all? Like, I don't know. Looking for a Negro.
Damn right. Are you 16 years old?
Yeah, but I'm like 6'5". I'm like hella buff.
I am like 10 years too old for you then.
I'm actually 23. No, I'm 17. I turned 18 in a year. If you want to, add me, I'll hit you up February 2021,
Alright, you can be quiet now.
Shut up, okay, I'll stop carrying you then.
Leave
yeah, shut up.
no escape.
Yeah, because you just play games to carry the girls that you find online.
Thought.
Sure then.
All right, I think that's it. And you can tell by the end she's visibly upset. Now, this is interesting because it spawned in discussion in the Riot sort of community outreach people that work over there, and how that they don't want these types of players in their communities, and to report anything like this that you hear. My question is there literally anything they can do about this type of toxicity in an online, technically an online esport game? Because it's just always going to happen.
To an extent, yes, they can, and there's various ways, I think, where that aren't evil, I guess, but that's usually against Riot's MO. But the other biggest thing is like, okay, so right now the way Valorant works is the only way to get a key is by watching streamers do stupid shit till you get a drop. So yes, the current player base is anyone who's everyone knows. Any game they're going to get into is with a streamer. Let's be stupid. Like that's the player base you've created, basically.
Yeah, I think that was the dumb. This is something we didn't talk about when this first came out, was their drop thing. I think it is the dumbest, most cheap way to promote a game that I have ever seen. And I'm not too surprised with it being Riot, but I think it's just a joke at what they're doing. I mean,
it's manufactured hype.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
No, it totally is. And no, that honestly makes sense to me, but doing that kind of strategy obviously brings out the worst in people, because every game you get in, hey, here's my 5 seconds of fame to being total idiot.
And it's like it only breeds like I don't know. It just doesn't breed
Breeds Twitch chat, dude.
Yeah, it just does. And if you look at the Twitch,
made a player base that is Twitch chat.
Yeah, and if you look at their Twitch page, I mean, it's just a disaster zone. I mean, it's nothing. It's basically just like 24/7 drop, and then people replaying VODs just so you can get drops. I remember when I first heard about this, I was like, all right, let me check this out. Let me see how you get a key, because I would love to play it. And then I found out that no one was fucking getting any keys. It was taking forever to get any keys. You have to sit here, watch these people play this fucking dumb game just to get a chance at the beta. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't really even think the game is that groundbreaking in any way. It doesn't seem like
honestly the game kind of seems like trash.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very interesting. It's very like low
It's very early, and it's a lot of player base that's coming in that just treats it like CS:GO. And
when it's more Overwatch, but it's CS:GO Overwatch, and
that's what it is.
And they're both like the worst forms of them.
I played a little bit of it, and even I was like barely using any of the abilities because I just don't know them.
Well, and I also think it's a new game, and people know it's a Riot game. It's going to be an esport. People who want to get the key want to start practicing so they can eventually, I guess, get their stream names out there and get.
It was very try hard, and I mean, like, I'm playing my first game, and I've got somebody in the mic like just yelling.
Yeah, but they want to be.
I'm trying to explain, like, I'm sorry, it's my first game.
No, that's a shooter. Unfortunately, that is definitely.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
that is definitely a shooter CS:GO mentality.
Overwatch, Apex, Call of Duty. It doesn't matter. At this point, I really just don't care anymore. So I just mute my teammates. That's why I love Apex, is because the ping system is easy enough communication without needing voice.
Yeah, no, the ping system's awesome. But I think this is.
Or you play with friends, in which case everyone communicates properly.
This is the type of community you're going to breed with this type of marketing, with this type of release. When you do this, you're going to breed this type of community, and that's just what's going to happen. Now, I do understand the argument about how women are treated in games, especially online competitive shooters. It is, it's just toxic, but it's also sort of a sport. If you watch any sport that is male dominated, it is very toxic. It's very macho. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's just part of the sport. You want to get into someone's head. You want to talk shit. You want to gloat when you're winning. We all kind of indulge in our urges there, but it's just, this is also going to compound the fact that you are basically having people spam Twitch with drops and breeding like the weirdest community possible with this. So I thought this was very interesting that, basically that Riot's like, listen, we're going to make a stand against people like this in the community. I don't think he said anything necessarily too bad, right? Is this something that he can get a ban for? Is this something that will get his account taken down?
To an extent, though, yeah, that was kind of like, that was better than I honestly expected, and I've seen way fucking worse in games. I agree with that. But at the same time, that is kind of the shitty part, that it is just normalized that, yeah, you see a girl and some retard, some idiot is just going to go, thought.
Yeah. But
like, that sucks that's gaming. Let's be honest. Like, that's not fun. Even as me being in the lobby, even going with like wanting to shit talk, just because it's always really uncreative, terrible shit talk. But it's also, I want to win the game. I want to shit talk the enemy team.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing that always sucks whenever that shit happens, because it always just turns into your team falling apart, where I'm sitting here like, shut the fuck up. Let's win.
It's people who would rather be the highest scoring person on the losing team than the worst scoring person on the winning team.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
It's like, no, dude, just shut the fuck up. Let's go beat the other people. That's the point of the game, is I want to win the game.
They want to put up a 50 burger triple double, but lose by 20.
But I'm more curious is if this is like a bannable thing that they can implement. Is this something that will get you banned?
I mean,
knowing Riot,
they could if they wanted.
It is, man.
Well, sure, they could.
Riot entirely would fucking do that. To be honest.
They could do anything that they want. I'm curious if they will or not. I'm curious if that is kind of the route they're going. Because if so, then you might as well implement some sort of like ping or non-chat, communication system. Because I don't see that culture changing anytime soon. If you want to change that culture, that's going to be years and years and years of changing in ping systems.
And let's be honest, that culture has not changed
ever.
You look at League.
Yeah. I mean, even in sports, like listen to the NFL when they have the mics on the players. You know what I mean? They're not nice to each other. They're not nice to their teammates. The coaches aren't nice to the players. It's very, very, very toxic. But then again, that's kind of, I don't know, some people breed off of that. Some people love that shit and they play better in that way. This is a competitive shooter. Maybe, I don't know, they're going to have to figure this out because it did seem to really kind of spark some controversy. And, I feel bad for this employee here because obviously you don't want to hear stuff like that. She probably hears it all the time.
Maybe they need to split it into a free play and then a competitive mode.
Yeah, but that's not.
The unfortunate thing is you still get those people in free play.
Yeah, you're never gonna fix that unless you remove the chat like Nintendo does. Unless you remove all voice chat and then you implement you could just say hey, good job, and say it sarcastically through their emote system. That's the only way you can do that.
Yeah, Rocket League, dude.
Oh yeah, Rocket League.
Shot.
Nice,
yeah, nice shot.
What a save! What a save!
Dum-dum.
What a save!
Yeah. That we'll see what happens.
Man,
I'm sorry. This game was like absolute trash to me.
I've been in some real toxic Rocket League games.
Holy shit!
How toxic can it actually get in Rocket League?
I'm finally actually really watching this.
Real sweaty about Rocket League. I don't know why. And I'm not even playing
any
ranked.
game. You can fucking get sweaty with fucking checkers, dude. I mean, people are just
Smash Bros.
I do.
Smash Bros.
You're competitive.
No, and
checker player.
This is me as someone who is like super competitive, and I definitely do get toxic towards people I'm playing against. But the thing is, I always get toxic against the people I'm playing against. That's the biggest issue with
Not
this.
me. Sometimes I'll go off on my team, dude. If they suck, I'll fucking fuck them.
No, I don't bother doing that because the people who usually do that also fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like you.
I'll fucking rip through anyone. I don't
You're
give a
blaming
fuck.
everyone for sucking because you also suck.
Yeah. Hey, man. But should you get banned for that? Is that a bannable offense? Are we going to rid gaming of the toxicity that it has bred throughout the years? No, I don't think you can. I don't think they could try, but I don't think you're ever going to get rid of it. Especially not when you're doing 24/7 drop, 24/7 drop, 24/7 drop, and they're all fucking VODs.
I think the biggest problem they have right now is, that's the way this game is set up is the player base is literally, hey, can we get the worst player base possible to play this game?
Is it also
that
a
is
free
the biggest
game?
issue.
Is that another thing they're doing? Is it going to be free? Not sure.
Probably. I mean, I'll try. I mean, it looks like a game I will try, but this game doesn't look good to me. Like it is.
I played.
It doesn't look fucking good. It's CS, but everyone playing this goddamn game, this is the issues it has as being CS and Overwatch. It has those CS elements. It looks like good gunplay, but because of that, you have to use sneak elements. You have to do feint attacks. There's tactics in CS basically. But this, because of the way of it being now Overwatch and weird abilities, no one's using them. No, and you don't know how to use them. The thing that's nice about CS is like, yes, so you slowly approach a bomb site and you like sneak up there, but then you have utility, you have smokes, you have incendiaries, you have a grenade setup system where you throw everything or whatever, and then it's action. You all burst. There's a level of passiveness followed by all outness, and this game so far is passive. There isn't people jumping on their abilities or anything. It's just crouch.
It's definitely passive because it's new and nobody really knows any of the. There's no real like hardcore theory crafting of what the team comp should be yet, because people are just playing it like CS:GO and that's it.
Yeah, the way that I've seen is you're sitting on corners and you're waiting for the guy to pop out and you headshot him with the AK.
That's a boring as shit game to me.
Me too.
It's very precision based. There is no aim assist whatsoever. It is,
and I like that.
It's good.
I like CS, but like the operators, let's call them, use Rainbow Six terms. Another game this is pulling from.
It was pretty
Like,
boring. I'm not gonna lie.
none of their abilities seem like they're useful at not being passive. All of the ones I've seen so far are just like, here's ways to be even more passive and see around a corner so you can still just sit there and wait till someone else comes around the corner.
That's what I've noticed with the
abilities. The abilities aren't like, hey, here's a way to create an opening for your team to rush through, and
it's a very reactionary game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all AKs and ops. Like, they have the AK, the op, but that's what everyone uses, and everyone kind of does the same thing over and over again. Throw the smoke at this area, and then just wait around the corner until they come through, and then whoever just has better aim is the winner at the end of the day. I don't think it looks interesting, really.
It doesn't to me.
It doesn't look very fascinating to me.
I don't know, maybe
it looks like shit. Enough. Like, the graphics actually look like shit too.
Yeah, there's a reason. I don't like the art style. That's another thing.
And yeah, that's one of the reasons why this is Riot we're talking about. They make their games able to run on literally a fucking piece of paper. Because they want to maximize.
That is admirable.
Completely.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. For me, it's not even that. It's like
CS:GO runs
textures are bad. To me, it's just the art styles.
Yeah, CS:GO runs on anything, and CS:GO looks way better.
Real man. I'll agree with that one easily. I might play this game with friends, but that's
I think WoW still looks good in 2020. Like, classic WoW looks decent because it's a cartoon art style. It will run on a potato.
Yeah, when cell shaded is done right, it can be pretty ageless.
It just looks like a shitty version of Overwatch.
Yeah,
Overwatch.
It really does.
Leagues better.
It's Overwatch and CS that is not Overwatch and CS.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much shit on it yet because I haven't played it yet. I do want to play it when it comes out because I do love CS. But
same, man. I'll try it, but like,
I'll play with you.
My initial thoughts watching it is like, this is just passive, dude.
Yeah.
This is team deathmatch. This isn't actually trying to get an objective.
Yeah, I'm definitely not fucking watching no goddamn stream to get no fucking.
That's one of the reasons why I'm a huge fan of like team deathmatch. And BRs are okay, but like
that revive,
being able to just either the rebuy or getting back in, you can play aggressive. I've always been like, especially when it comes to like fighting games, I'm a rush down player. I want to be aggressive.
Yeah,
this game is not aggressive, and that's why I just found it completely boring.
And going back, I'm a big CS person. I'm fine with passive elements to the game. Like, that is an important tactical option to choose. The problem with this game is that looks like that's the only tactical option to choose.
All right,
chess match.
I don't know. Pacing in this game just looks terrible. That's my problem.
Moving on, we're gonna skip this one. GameStop's reopening, stores closed by COVID. We all thought they were done for, but it seems as if they will start reopening. They have begun the process of reopening stores in Italy, Germany, Austria, and the states of South Carolina and Georgia. And they'll probably slowly start reopening things. Despite the company said the curbside option has been available for the company to meet more than 90% of the sales volume it had expected from those locations before the pandemic hit, which is pretty surprising. 90% that seems like they're inflating those numbers, if you ask me. Despite that, GameStop's comparable store sales for the 9-week period ended April 4th were down roughly 23% year over year. At the point of March 21st, mass closures across the U.S., comparable store sales had been up roughly 3%. Company CEO George Sherman and his board of directors are taking temporary 50% pay cuts, a cut to base salary in Sherman's case, and cash compensation for the directors, while the rest of the executive leadership team takes a temporary 30% hit to base salary. So they're all docking pay, taking huge cuts, trying to keep this thing afloat, which is admirable. It is nice to see that they're trying. Are you unnecessarily putting your employees at risk by reopening something that doesn't really need to exist anymore? Possibly. But I guess, that's for someone else to determine.
You're never going to get the passiveness out of this game. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still watching it.
I honestly don't care about the game at all.
Yeah. No, the map I'm watching, the two spawn points are literally like right next to each other around a corner.
Yeah, well, that was the whole game when I watched it. It's just
like that. Well, that from a map design point is there's never going to be not action, because if you start that close to each other, you have to be passive from the first second to the last.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hate this game.
All right, and then finally, Last of Us 2 Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima got release dates. Let me get those release dates up. I posted them on.
Ghost of Tsushima had a release date, but it got pushed back.
It got pushed, right. And it got pushed to July, I believe 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, July 17th for Ghost of Tsushima, and Last of Us 2 is set to release June 19th. Both got delayed. Last of Us 2 was supposed to be set to release this month, right? In May? Or was it March? I forget exactly when it was supposed to be released. Or was it April? Was it April or was it May? I don't remember. But they pushed it. They said we're going to postpone it.
I think it was May. It was May. It was May.
It was like May 5th or something.
Yeah.
And then they said they're going to postpone it indefinitely, which meant, oh shit, who knows when the fuck we're going to get it now. But now we're getting it June 19th, so not much longer. I can't wait for it. Ghost of Tsushima, I can't wait for it as well. And then finally, follow it up on September, we're getting Cyberpunk. But unfortunately, Last of Us 2 got leaked by a disgruntled employee. What's this here? So I first off, I want to say, all right, let's not read this article because there may be some potential spoilers in here. I haven't seen any spoilers online yet. I'm trying not to. I haven't even Googled this because I don't want to see any spoilers. But there was a disgruntled employee that supposedly leaked the game. Neil Druckmann came out and said, hey, man, this sucks. Unfortunately, our game got leaked. Do your best if you want to save the surprise to I guess stay away from anything you see Last of Us Part 2 in, which I have been doing. I don't know what has been spoiled. I know there was major beats in the story. There were major plot lines with Ellie and her love interest that were, I mean, the whole thing got leaked. So gotta watch out, man. If you don't want this to be spoiled, you gotta watch out. So there's my warning to you. And that's it for gaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you know who did the leaking?
I have no idea. I didn't look anything up.
So the only things I've heard, and I don't know any proof because I didn't want to dive too far deep and then find the spoilers.
Right, I was so scared of them. I was so scared.
From what I hear, it's somebody that's an ex-employee of Naughty Dog that was unhappy with a financial dispute. So they decided, and that's the thing is, like, if that's true, and I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, and you have a financial disagreement with your ex-employer, there are better ways of going about that than ruining the game for other people and ruining your career
and ruining your bank account. That guy's gonna get sued.
Because you're gonna get
hell.
your ass sued for breaking an NDA.
Dude, he's gonna get. Dude, that is IP infringement. That's IP theft. I mean, that is so bad. I mean, I guess this person.
Nobody's gonna hire him.
No, absolutely not. This guy, he fucked himself hard. He fucked yourself.
That's why I don't think it's true, because it just so much. It just doesn't make any sense. How vendettive do you have to be to just completely ruin your life?
There are some big fucking idiots in this world. You know what I mean?
True.
There's some vindictive pieces of shit that will absolutely do that. Maybe in the heat of the moment, right? Maybe he was just so mad that he just said, fuck it. Here's the fucking game, internet. And then the next day he woke up, what did I do? I'm going to be sued to death. But who knows, man? It does suck. Hopefully anyone who cares about the story doesn't get it spoiled to them. I know anytime I saw Last of Us, I didn't even look. I saw it all over Twitter. I was like, nope, I'm off the internet right now. Don't even want to fucking look at Twitter. Usually after a couple days, that stuff goes away. Hopefully we don't see stuff like what we saw with Avengers, where people were like popping into people's streams and giving them the spoilers. I thought that was pretty lame. Don't do that, man. That shit sucks, man. We have not much in this world to live for. Let us have our consumer content. For God's sakes, isn't anything sacred in this world? All right, in tech, two stories here. NVIDIA promising no layoffs, accelerating raises to help staff during pandemic. Jensen Huang, in a letter shared to LinkedIn by Senior Vice President Shelly Sierro, emphasized the severity of the outbreak of COVID-19 and urged employees to take every precaution they can. He noted that there had been 3 instances of COVID-19 across NVIDIA. All had recovered. So shout out to them. However, the company knows of at least one relative taken by the disease. Huang offered his condolences to any staff whose families were affected by COVID. CEO assured that the company was in a solid position to weather the pandemic and laid fears of job cuts to rest. NVIDIA previously announced to its employees that it was pulling in our annual review process, prompting numerous queries about potential layoffs. But Huang assures this means precisely the opposite. Quote, "We are accelerating your raise to put some extra money in your hands," he wrote. "We can put tens of millions of more dollars in the hands of our families in the coming months." He reiterated that there is no layoff, adding that the work NVIDIA does in graphics science, AI, and robotics is more vital to the future than ever. Not only is gaming entertaining people during isolation, Huang said the firm's technology is boosting healthcare, diagnostic instruments, and scientific computing for both medical workers fighting this disease and researchers studying it. Quote, "Though we have excellent positions in thriving markets and have plenty of reserves for a rainy day, the world is going into uncharted territory. We will be measured and invest with extreme thoughtfulness, and as always, we seek every source of efficacy and waste nothing." NVIDIA raised $5 billion at the end of March by issuing investment-grade bonds that will mature in 4 tranches over the next 40 years. The issue is oversold by more than 6 times, meaning that NVIDIA only raised $5 billion. Meaning that while NVIDIA only raised $5 billion, it had orders for $30 billion. So NVIDIA is in prime position financially. They are in prime position market-wise, industry-wise. They are really doing well, man. And
and they got to drop a 3080, please.
And
or a new
yes.
RTX Quadro 9000, please.
Man, imagine if he put this out there. And at the end of it, he said, also, here are the announcements to our 3000 series GTX cards for desktop.
I would buy one immediately because that's all I'm waiting for.
Baby, let's go.
But we have to wait till May 15th for GTC so we can find out what the Quadro version is going to be.
Yeah, hopefully they start to speed things up on that end. I mean,
hopefully
what they have
AMD
right
does
now,
too, because they're gonna wait till AMD launches their new big Navi that's been talked to death over like a year now.
Yeah, if they have to wait for AMD because who knows what AMD has up their sleeve.
But they don't, but they're going to, because like you just said, they got more than enough money to sit there and wait.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by more of NVIDIA's future plans are. I'm fascinated by their market structure because they are really killing it recently. Their stock prices have been doing really well. The COVID hasn't really affected their price at all. It hasn't affected their ability to really move anything. And I am hopeful for NVIDIA. It seems like they're primed really well. You know, they are leaders in this specific area, while AMD does have market structures in a couple other industries. They're not just a GPU manufacturer. So there is a little bit more on the line for AMD, but it seems as if they're doing pretty well.
But AMD is also still... AMD has to prove graphics are good again, which they seem like they're slowly doing. They think the 5700 and the 5700 XT are great cards. But...
Plus, they have Apple. At the high end. They have Apple's contract. They have Sony's contract.
And they absolutely murdered Intel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I think they're also fine money-wise. They're just on the graphics side. They actually have to compete.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where NVIDIA has a leg up. They don't really have to worry. They worry more in like, you know, cloud computing, AI. You know, a lot of their competition is like Microsoft and Amazon in that sense. But nonetheless, their hardware division has been doing really well, and Jensen looks like he's continuing to be a badass CEO. As long as he's got that leather jacket on, he's a good man. But that's pretty cool. And then finally, the Mavic Air 2 has been released. I don't have a drone. Do you have a drone at all?
No.
I want one so bad. I've wanted one since they came out, but they've always been out of my price range for something that I always seen as a toy.
Except for the Mavic Mini. I've definitely thought about buying Mavic Mini.
I like the smaller Mavics. I like the cheaper Mavics because I'm not going to use a drone that much. You know what I mean?
The Mavic Mini, it's $400, and the camera's better than a GoPro.
Yeah, and
that's a good deal.
Yeah,
it's a flying GoPro with an actual better image quality. Hell yeah!
This is around this is $800. This is their second Air, which is like their smaller, more portable drones. It comes with like a brand new remote system. It
The
also,
Air 2 does look really good.
yeah, it looks nice. And now it's a little expensive. That's around the top of my budget for a drone, I think. I'm not sure. I might have to wait a couple of years for this price to drop down. But watching the videos on it, let me see if I can bring up some sample footage. It does look really nice. Like the image quality from these drones has gotten a lot better from when I was considering anything like this. And this is about half the price of the Pro, which, you know, that one is a badass drone, but again, it's coming in at like $1,500. So let's look at Moment.
True.
Moment does good.
I was gonna say
videos.
the DJI Mavic Pro 2 is the best for image quality.
Yeah.
You can't touch it. But like I think they're like the Mini and the Air 2 definitely are getting a lot closer than they were 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, look at the image quality off of the Mavic Air. Like, that's not bad.
No, the Air looks the Air 2 looks fantastic. Well, that's kind of my point is like, dude, honestly, the $400 Mini that came out at the end of the last year, the image quality on that's actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
For $400.
The only thing that I didn't like about the smaller ones, that one, like, and the Spark, is the battery. You know, you really don't get that much flight time with it.
True. True.
I don't know what the battery.
But also the thing with the Mini is, while it is a much worse battery life, it's also you can fit it in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Let's see what the battery life is on this, if there's any specs like that.
But that was the one that impressed me a lot last year, and then the Air is just even better quality. Like this is honestly making me think that what they really want to be doing is releasing the Pro 3, and that might be delayed to like the end of the year because now that their budget drones or image quality is getting this good, I think they do have to up the Pro a bit.
Yeah. This does utilize a quad Bayer filter on the front of the lens. It is 12 megapixels. Photos can be taken in 12 megapixel, 48 megapixel, and in RAW. It shoots up to 4K, 60 frames per second. Has that stupid HDR. 8 times slow-mo, 1080p 240. It does use H.265.
Half-inch sensor, but still
half-inch sensor. And then
you're
you got
getting
all the
4K
tracking
60
stuff,
on an $800
really cool.
drone.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's good.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's a good bit rate. It's great quality. I know this is all the tracking stuff. I think the tracking stuff is really cool too, because imagine that. Like the reason I was looking at them is when I go hiking and I want to do my like landscape photos. If I can just take a drone and have it follow me while I'm just like, you know, like a nice setup scene as I'm walking in. I mean, that's fucking sick, man. That is so sick. It's just I'm not ready to spend $1,500 or $2,000 on a good quality drone. But this is around the top of that budget, and it is really intriguing. When I saw this, I was like, oh shit, maybe it is time that I get a nice little Mavic Air 2. Now I'm curious if they do update the older or the smaller one.
God, even with the half-inch sensor, dude, that actually looks
great.
Really fucking good.
Yeah, their image processing, DJI's image processing is really nice. And it's all, I mean, they have like their own like log system. Moment sells these awesome ND filters that go on the front.
Yeah.
They have like anamorphic lenses you can snap on. I don't know for this model, but they had them.
They'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
Because I know you can even get like the full range on even the Mini, so I know it'll come out on the Air pretty soon.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the image quality of this is actually stupid good.
Yeah, I mean, look at that shot. That looks awesome. I will say too, Moment has been one of my favorite new companies of the last few years. I love what Moment is about, like the idea of infusing photography and videography, but also tech at the same time, like with them having this YouTube channel where they do phone reviews, and they just kind of get what I enjoy about tech and the things that I like to do with my technology. This company Moment has really kind of catered to me, and I've been really enjoying what they've been about recently.
Know who they're big fans of lately?
Who?
Fuji.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they love Fuji. They love Pixel phones, and they love what was the other thing that they love? Oh, and they love the weird fucking two-handed gimbal thing. I always see them using that stupid gimbal that you have to hold like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like
everyone's fans of Fuji these days, dude. Fuji's
honestly, it's a really great looking for
It is really small.
$800. That's insane.
It is
image
really small.
quality wise. I will say that the battery is actually not as good as I was expecting.
240 it says here.
That's for the controller.
Oh, okay, you're right.
34-minute max flight time.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but you were talking about the Mavic Mini. The Mavic Mini is 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
So you're getting 4 more minutes.
How much is it? How much do the pros use? I think they're like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, or something like that.
Yeah, so it is a little bit better battery life, but not probably to the level that I care. The Pro is 30 minutes. Of the
30
Platinum
minutes.
Mavic Pro is 30 minutes.
Yeah. Right. Now,
So it is nicer, but it's not that much nicer to the point where I'd care. Now that's the original Pro Platinum. Like what's the Inspire and shit like that at?
I don't know. Probably not long. I know like 30 minutes is like the average. Around 30 to 40 minutes is like average. Can you swap these batteries out on the Mini?
I don't know.
Let me see here. The Mavic Mini, it does look sick.
Yeah, like I gotta give them credit that like the Mavic Mini and then the Mavic Air 2 are now. The Mavic Air 2's image quality is a lot nicer, but like the Mini's also
That's the
still
one thing that
in the realm of really good. To where now you have options at 400 and 800 of drones that actually like their image quality is at least comparable to a camera costing that much that doesn't fly.
Yeah.
Like,
I always thought it was cool when they took the camera off and they just gave you the gimbal, the Osmo or whatever it was called.
yeah.
I always thought that was a good idea too.
Yeah, even the Phantom Pro 2 is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 more minutes than any of their other drones, basically.
Right.
But like, it's impressive. The Mavic 2 itself is 31 minutes.
Yeah, so it's about average. They're all about the same range, around 30
Yeah,
30
they're all
minutes.
about a half
You're
hour.
getting like 30 minutes.
The Air 2 is actually the best for airtime by 3 minutes.
Yeah. But then you got to factor in like any sort of like wind, you know, that where
Yeah.
it's fighting against wind, it drops it down pretty quickly.
You're actually talking about 20 minutes with all of these. Like, realistically, I wouldn't go over 20 minutes just because you also don't want to
You just
run
need-
into that last 10 minutes where you might lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were using a drone for one thing that we were doing. And I remember, it was just like, you know, you get a few shots and then you have to bring it down and they're like, oh, the battery's dead. That's all we get for today. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of, you know, I didn't realize it goes that quick.
Yeah.
But it is a flying fucking craft that just floats in the air. So,
That can do 8K hyperlapses.
yeah. I do want one. I want a fucking drone. Is this the one
I
I'm
mean,
going to get?
what's
possibly?
Canon got on it, dude? Here you go. Here's 8K hyperlapses, man. In RAW.
God damn. Oh, tits. Imagine these were like $300, like $200, 4K, 60, 200.
Hey, dude, you got the Mini, but the Mini's only 2.7K.
Yeah. I'm going to have to take a look at the Mini. I'm going to see if it has like those tracking things, and I'm going to look at the quality.
The Mini's quality is very good.
Mm-hmm.
The Air's 2 is better. The Air 2 is honestly really.
It looks great.
I'm having a hard problem telling the difference between the Air 2 and the Mavic 2.
Yeah, it looks
And,
great.
I mean, the Mavic 2's been out for a little while now, like 2 years or something. But like the Air 2 here is like.
And that's a full inch
This
sensor.
is, yeah, like this is, here you go. Here is the Mavic 2 at an affordable price.
Yeah. At
Or more
half the
affordable.
price. And then half the price of this, you have the Mini. But that's what I need to see is like, is it worth to, is the jump between 400 to 800 an image quality worth that? or is this the sweet spot here at 800 and not jumping up to 1400 for the?
This is the sweet spot to me currently, because this just shows me they need a Mavic 3, because this image quality wise looks like a Mavic 2 to me.
Yeah,
and it's half the price of that. Like,
and I don't
or at least
really
very close.
I don't really
while
need
the Mini
much more
is
than
like
4K 60.
Right, and then the Mini on the other hand is like, it looks really good, but it looks like a better GoPro. This looks good.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
didn't
mean?
notice any sort of like bitrate compression artifacting that I saw in some of the older earlier ones. Like in this, at least in this moment video, this looks excellent. I see no artifacting whatsoever. I see a little bit of juddery sort of frame rate, but that might just be how they uploaded it. It looks excellent. Drones are fucking cool too. These things go so high. All right, that's it for the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys next week, every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune in. Follow us over on our website, nolife.digital, and hit us up over on our Twitter and our Instagram. I've been posting on Instagram lately. Going to be doing some more posting there as well as Twitter. So just follow us, just some updates and stuff. So, hey, we have 119 followers on Instagram. Keep following us. All right, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.